complexities and dynamics of business in Nigeria? On Business Focus, we bring you insights from the forefront of industry innovation, business news, latest figures from the stock market with in-depth analysis and even market survey. Let's journey through the ever-evolving world of business and economics, where we decode the latest market moves and provide you with the knowledge to navigate the intricate web of business challenges. This is Business Focus.
Welcome back from that break. We are talking about the mining sector, the challenges and the way forward. We talked about the illegal mining aspect of the sector. Mr. Steve, let's talk about the future now. Moving on, the Minister of Solid Minerals mentioned that there would be a huge leap. That means we are going to see some sort of improvement in that sector. So what do you think that is all about?
Well, the minister must have had all the challenges to look into before saying there will be improvements. Again, I remember when the minister also came on board, they said it was a deliberate act for the president to have appointed him as a minister of solid minerals. Now, again, this also called for questioning. Have they identified those challenges? If those challenges have been identified, are there a roadmap to say we are going to fight it head on? And one of it is the policy surrounding our resources. That's one. Two, have they also looked at the infrastructure? Because you can identify a particular mineral resources at point A. Having access to the mineral resources becomes a problem.
Sure.
All right, so no roads, no water, no even power. When you put all of this together, you also realize that it's not encouraging. Now, we also need to look at the environmental part of it. The community, are they not going to be exposed to hazard?
Sure.
All right, and access to funds, because government alone can't do it. Government needs private. Now, when all these private bodies are coming into the business, are there available resources for them? Now, do we have the data to show that this is what is available at each of the states in Nigeria, or to show that this is what is available in all of these local communities? Now, if that is done, then it will also give us at any point in time, for instance, maybe as a private body, I sit down and look at, okay, there is a XYZ resources at this also particular state, and I want to venture into it. Do I know the quantity? Do I know the area of land that it covers? Do I even know what I need to get permits, and waivers, and the rest that needs to be done? If all of these are done, you will agree that it will attract private sector, and attracting private sector, it will also boost our GDP.
Sure.
Again, importantly, as the minister have said, we are waiting, we are counting on them. The less they talk, the more the action Nigerians want to see.
Sure.
So that we can truly, not just diversify, but also boost our economy. Because the more we boost the economy, the more the nation will also stabilize. So yesterday or the day before yesterday, the Minister of Finance also made mention that the 2024 budget is not relying on borrowing, rather on revenue. Now, what revenue? Have we put all the available apparatus in place for us to ensure that these revenues comes in? And I also read again, either official or unofficial, where they've said MDAs are to remit 100% to government.
Okay.
Now, they are to remit 100% to government. By the time they remit, government will now decide what to give them in return. Not that they will generate, decide what to give to government.
Okay.
All right? So, you know,
do you think that's a good idea?
It's a very perfect idea. Okay. Not just good, perfect idea.
Well, would it be implemented?
It depends on our will.
Okay.
It depends on our will. Again, you go back to it. You can imagine a particular agency who claim that they generated XYZ, And then when they ask them how much do you remitted into the federation account, and they said they are even on deficit because they've used it to service human capital. Now, at that very point now, if they generate any amount of money, it means that before they will even assume employing or carrying out any either both internal or external project, they have to write back to the government. Oh, we need this so amount for this reason. Then government will now look at it and say, okay, okay, fine, we can, but we will not give you all 100%. So again, we need to also ask ourselves, the money generated by all of these MDAs, why is it that they turn government to feed them bottle when they are supposed to rely more on the federal pocket than federal government relying more on them? So if we can put all of this together, let it cut across all the sectors, but importantly, the sectors that can give us on a snap a return on investment.
So would you say, Steve, would you say that wouldn't you say that is giving the executive arm of the government too much power, because who is checking that?
Now, all of us are checking that, because I know, you know how much you remitted to the coffer, all right? You know how much you are sending to the account, and if you go back to them to say, okay, we need X, Y, Z for us to be able to do A, B, C, D. Nobody should be able to tell you, no, we will not give you. Just because you do not meet your target or what you generated is not as to what you are also requesting. But importantly, we need to have a post where our resources goes into. When we don't know, okay, just imagine, Federal Inland Revenue will just wake up and tell us they made 4 trillion. And out of the 4 trillion, it could be maybe 1 trillion or 2 trillion that will enter into government purse. Now, how do they spend the remaining trillion? So if you are saying all of these agencies should become independent, so automatically you are telling them, generate whatever, spend as you like, and then you are empowering the CEO of that agency or that MDA to even become as powerful as even a sitting president or a sitting governor in any state, as the case may be. So automatically the appointed people should be different and carrying out their obligations from those we elected, because it is those that we elected we can truly look at them in the face and say, Oga, we are accountable. Of course.
Okay. So moving on now, Steve, would you say that illegal mining is fueling security, that's insecurity?
Yes. Yes.
How?
For instance, in a particular location where, not let us even say particular location, take Zamfara for instance. Why do we have persistent insecurity in Zamfara? It's as a result of the mining going on. Either true or not, we have seen series of footage showing us that even private helicopter or jet lands in strategic location there just to come and take what they have been able to.
That's in the danger zone.
Yes.
Safely land in the danger zone.
What makes it a danger zone is because we refuse to tackle it head on. Are you saying these people are more powerful than even our military? The answer is no. But again, let's go back to the basics. Go back to the community. The community knows the people that are mining. Because the people that are mining one way or the other, they will also leave the bush and come to the city, to the village. Definitely. All right? So the village head, we know those who operate within the vicinity. Now let's extend it to the local government. Let's extend it to the state. Now, if the federal government sits there and call these people, because we said the land belongs to the federal government, all right? Sure. Call these people together and okay, let's find a political solution to all of these problems. Now, as a state governor, you know, nobody can come into your land doing that kind of capital-intensive business and we still leave your state without your consent. Let's tell ourselves the truth. So what do we do? For instance, if I know there is a mining site, I will tell you how I will provide infrastructure. Okay. The people that are mining illegally, instead of despising them and say go, because the moment you chase them out of that land, they are going to another place. One. All right? All right. So bring them and say, okay, despite the fact that we know your master or where you are getting your pay slip from, okay, can we bring you into the system because we want to take over the land? Then if you know the master, use your political will. Are they bigger or stronger than the government? The individual cannot be bigger than the government. So again, let's wage in the hammer. If the individual refuses and say, this is our father's land, oh, let the individual know that. If this is your father's land, your father is subjected to be under the government. All right? So again, you bring them under subjection. we can negotiate all of this.
So that's going the proper way.
Going the proper way. Then once we know, because if there is no discovery, there can be illegal miner.
Sure.
The day you chase them out of that land, and you are not allowing them to see 1 or 2 naira or 1 naira they are getting, they will also face you to fight.
So quickly now, Mr. Adisa, how would you say that we all know that illegal mining affects the climate change and the environment? So how would you say that should be managed in Nigeria in particular?
Again, we are going back to the government.
To the government.
We are going back to the government. Because if nothing is done, don't forget, the Western world that are clamoring for climate change, dishing out both the principles and the policies of climate change are developed already.
Sure.
And I remember towards the election where the president mentioned taking communion, blah, 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 from the church, right? Taking a poison communion from the church. That is the case of climate change to underdeveloped nations.
Sure.
So now, what do we do? If nothing is done by the government, because we are the one who said we are looking for FDI. How can FDI come when we don't do what we are supposed to do, create an enabling environment, have policy in place, good policy for that matter, have infrastructure in place, and then let's have the capacity that we want to make it work. Now, when we have all of these in place, it will give us the confidence that, okay, if we are talking about climate change, how does it affect us? We can manage it. Because as it is now, everybody just have to manage it. It has come to stay. Okay. All right? Everybody is managing it. We are not developed, yet we want to muzzle. We can't muzzle when we don't have anything to muzzle. So, again, government needs to look inward. For instance, look at the blast that used to happen at somewhere like Pape in Abuja. You agree with me? If those living around that vicinity is not careful, a day, God forbid, landslides happens in that vicinity, it will, sure, most houses will go.
Sure. All
right? So, again, we need to look at it. How do we come together, sit on a table, ensure that we harness this thing in the proper way, so that the community, and that's because that's the environmental factor we are talking about. The community is not affected negatively. The people in the community are also not affected negatively. So when we look at it holistically, then it will help us to be able to combat even the climate change in such local area.
Okay, that's really interesting. Thank you for that insight, Mr. Adisa, and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you very much, and Happy New Year to you once again.
Viewers, you're still on Politics and Business TV. This is Business Focus. My name is Maria Adozakari. We just analyzed the mining sector in the country. That's it for today. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow.